Jai Shri Mataji, everyone. So we're going to make a start with a bhajan first, and then we'll formally start the evening in a couple of minutes after that. So we'll just offer a song to Shri Ganesha, and it's a Hindi one if you have the books to hand. And then we'll welcome you all formally in a couple of minutes after the bhajan. So we're going to make a start. Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Mata Teri Parvat, Pita Mahadeva, Mata Teri Parvat, Pita Mahadeva, Ganapati Deva, Ganapati Deva, Ganapati Deva, Ganapati Deva, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh, Jai Ganesh Deva, Andhan ko आँख दे, कोड़न को काया, अंधन को आँख देत कोड़न काया, बाझन को पुत्र देत निर्धन को माया, बाझन को देत निर्धन को माया, गणपति देवा, गणपति देवा, गणपति देवा, गणपति देवा, जय गण जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा, जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा, पान चढ़ाओ, फूल चढ़ाओ, चढ़ाओ मेवा, पान चढ़ाओ, फूल चढ़ाओ, चढ़ाओ मेवा, लड्डुओं का भोग लागे संत कर सेवा, लड्डुओं का भोग लागे संत करे सेवा, गणपति देवा, गणपति देवा, गणपति देवा, गणपति देवा, जय गण जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा, जय गणेश, जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा, एक दंत दयावंत चार भुजधारी, एक दंत दयावंत चार भुजधारी, मस्तक सिंदूर शोभे चूहे की सवारी, मस्तक शोभे चूहे की सवारी, गणपति देवा, गणपति देवा, गणपति देवा, गणपति देवा, जय गण जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा, जय गण जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा, जय गण जय गणेश, जय गणेश देवा. Jai Shri Mataji. It's lovely to be with each other online today on Friday, and we're just going to start by bowing down to Shri Mataji and raising our Kundalini and putting on a bandhan collectively. Shrimati Devi, your children humbly ask you to be present during this meditation and to guide us at your lotus feet. Shrimati, you are the one who is a master of all our chakras. And we know all the deities and their qualities and their manifestation within us and around us in the whole universe through you. Please make us worthy of this attention and love that you shower upon us. With our attention on Muladhara Chakra, Shrimati, verily you are the master of my Muladhara Chakra. You are the one whose embodiment of innocence, spontaneity, chastity, and within all of us. You are the giver of childlike mirth, Shrimati, to us. We surrender our Muladhara Chakras at your lotus feet. And say the mantra to Shri Muladhara Chakra Swamini. Shri Muladhara Chakra Swamini. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Muladhara Chakra Swamini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. We can slowly raise our attention to our Swadhisthana Chakra. Shrimati, verily you are the master of my Swadhisthana Chakra. You are the giver of pure attention, pure knowledge, all the knowledge that we can bear. We thank you from our hearts for bestowing us your bliss and your love in our Swadhisthana Chakras. Here we can say the mantra for Swadhisthana Chakra Swamini. Shri Swadhisthana Chakra Swamini. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Swadhisthana Chakra Swamini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. the attention on Nabhi. Shrimati, verily you are the master of my Nabhi chakra. You are the one who sustains us. You are the one who establishes peace within us and in the whole universe. And you teach us balance in our actions, in our thoughts, in our desires, in our day-to-day lives. Surrender our Nabhi Shrimati at your lotus feet. Here we can say the mantra for Shri Manipur Chakra Swamini. Shri Manipur Chakra Swamini. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Manipur Chakra Swamini Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. We take our attention to our void. Shrimati, verily you are the Sadguru. You are the only Guru that I have, and you are the only true Guru. By your grace, you made us in your image. You made us Gurus as well, Shrimati. Please give us the discipline and the self-mastery. Say the mantra to Shri Adi Guru. Shri Adi Guru. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Adi Guru Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. We take our attention to Anahata Chakra. Shrimati, verily you are the master of our hearts. And you are the one who gives us complete protection. You are the world Mother Shrimati. You are the most powerful mother in the whole universe. And by your grace, protected from all the negativity, from all the impurity, forever and ever. There is nothing, absolutely nothing that can harm your children, Shrimati. Let us have that faith in the powers you bestowed upon us. Please make us worthy of that blessing, Shrimati. Please come and reside in our hearts and guide us in all the difficult moments of our lives. Just be connected to your lotus feet. We surrender our hearts to you. You can say the mantra to Shri Anhat Chakra Swamini. Shri Anhat Chakra Swamini. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Anahata Chakra Swamini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. We can move our attention to our Vishuddhi. Shrimati, verily you are the master of our Vishuddhi chakra. You are the master of yoga. By your grace, we are your children, Shrimati. We're a huge global family. This beautiful collectivity that you've created. You are the one who gives us purity in our relationships. Gives us the joy of being with our brothers and sisters. Complete sweetness. No guilt. Just complete oneness, Shrimati. We surrender our Vishuddhis at your lotus feet. Say the mantra to Shri Vishuddhi Chakra Swamini. Shri Vishuddhi Chakra Swamini. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Vishuddhi Chakra Swamini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. Moving up to Agya Chakras. Shrimati, you are verily the master of our Agya Chakras. You are the supreme ego of the divine. We surrender this ego, this superego, any conditioning, any habits that stop us from being ourselves at your lotus feet. Here we can say the mantra to Shri Agya Chakra Swamini. Shri Agya Chakra Swamini. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Agya Chakra Swamini Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. The attention on Sahasrara. Shrimatri, you are verily the master of our evolution. You are the deity, supreme deity that resides on our Sahasraras. Please, we humbly ask you to come and reside in our humble abode on top of our Sahasrara chakras. Let it be a comfortable place for you, Shrimati, to reside, fragrant with your beauty. We surrender our evolution, Shrimati, at your lotus feet. We surrender our Sahasraras at your lotus feet. Say the mantra to Shri Sahasrara Swamini. Shri Sahasrara Swamini. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swamini. Sakshat Shri Adi Shakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi Namo Namaha. We offer a song to Shrimati with our attention on Sahasrara. It's called Jaya He Devi. It's Hindi 101. If you have a book, please do join me. We'll just read out the meaning of the song first. So it's just in praise of the goddess. It says, O goddess, victory to you, O Nirmalma, the deliverer of emancipation, victory to you. You are the creator of all auspiciousness, granter of spontaneous union with God. You are the one who resides in all human beings, and you are the one who grants us self-realization. You are pleasant-faced, Shrimati, and you're divinely radiant and highly auspicious. You are the one who eliminates all miseries and diseases, and you are the savior of all humanity. You destroy evil forces and uphold all the gods. O Creator, sustainer and protector of the universe, victory to you. Shrimati, you are the one who rules the heart of Sri Sadashiva. You bear and sustain the heart of Sri Sadashiva. You are present in all forms and in all beings, and you manifest in all the mantras. You are omnipresent. You are the witness and the governor of everything. Shrimati, you most lovingly shower blessings on your children, and you destroy the greatest of sins. You take care of spiritual and material well-being of your children, and you bestow eternal bliss. You have an awesome form, worthy of great worship and primordial mother. Victory to you, victory to you. Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya He Devi. Moksha Pradayini Niramal Ma. Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya He, Jaya He Devi. Moksha Pradayini Niramal Ma. Jaya He. Sarva Mangala मंगलकारिणी सहज योग प्रदायिनी सर्वमानववासिनी साक्षात्कार प्रदायिनी प्रसन्नवदना दिव्य तेजसा महामंगल निर्मल मा जय हे जय हे जय हे जय हे देवी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी निर्मल मा जय हे सर्वव्याधि निवारिणी सर्वमानवकारिणी सर्वराक्षसमर्दिनी सर्वदेवताधारिणी विश्वकारिणी विश्वधारिणी विश्वरक्षिणी निर्मल मा जय हे जय हे जय हे जय हे देवी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी निर्मल मा जय हे सदाशिव हृदय स्वामिनी सदाशिव हृदय धारिणी सर्वस्वरूपा सर्वेशी सर्वमंत्र स्वरूपिणी सर्वव्यापिनी सर्वसाक्षिणी सर्वसाश्विनी निर्मल मा जय हे जय हे जय हे जय हे देवी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी निर्मल मा जय हे पुत्रवत्सल कल्याणी महापातकनाशिनी योगक्षेम विवर्धिनी निरानंद प्रदायिनी महारूपा महापूजा आदि माता निर्मल मा जय हे जय हे जय हे जय हे देवी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी निर्मल मा जय हे जय महालक्ष्मी निर्मल मा जय महाकाली निर्मल मा जय महासरस्वती निर्मल मा आद्याशक्ति निर्मल मा जय हे जय हे जय हे देवी मोक्ष प्रदायिनी निर्मल मा जय हे जय हे जय हे So we are going to listen to a play program talk by Srimati in Delhi in 1985, I think. So please do bear with us while we share our screen. And
I bow to all the seekers of truth. When today, in these modern times, you look around anywhere in any country, you feel that the human beings are really confused. They are in a very confused state. Whether it is politics, economics, or social life, it seems nobody knows which is the right direction one has to follow. It was said that it was to happen in this Ghor Kali Yuga, that people are going to become Sabhrant. It has to happen. But today's problem, if you come to the essence of the problem, is that we are passing through a tremendous moral crisis within ourselves and without. Actually, the human beings, the way they make this world, they see the world, they create the world, they live in that world. The confusion has come from human beings and not from the divine. At this juncture, when the science thinks no end of itself, when ritualism has taken roots so deep, when people have become so fanatically attached to the so-called truths they believe in, it's a hard task to talk about the divine, that is the truth, and that is the reality. On one side, one has to face the scientists, the people who believe that there is no God. It's very nice to believe that there is no God. When you are darkness, it's nice to believe that there cannot be any light. The others are who are well versed or who are educated in religion, are lost in the words. As Sri Adi Shankaracharya has said, Shabda Jala. Those who are fanatics are lost in the fanaticism, the clutches of fanaticism which leads you to violence. So one starts wondering, if this is God, if this is divinity, if this is religion, why one has to face all these horrible manifestations of that divine which is supposed to be compassion, love, and above all, peace. At this time, one should understand that this country of ours, this Yoga Bhumi, is specially blessed because we have had a heritage of ancient times where people have talked that one has to get his self-realization. The complete motivating force in Indian life is how to get your self-realization. Of course, now we have become westernized. We despise our old sciences. We despise our culture. We despise what is written in our ancient books. But if you ever talk to any Indian who has some Indianness left in him, he will say that our country has a promise of yoga, of self-realization, of union with the divine. This is the promise of this country. That's why today you find so many people from the West come to this country to seek that union. Now, when we think about knowledge, I call it avidya, the knowledge of the tree. We know the knowledge of the tree. When we have to treat the tree, we cannot treat one leaf here and there. We have to go to the roots of it. In the West, or into the, we can say, the scientific approach towards the solving of human problems has been the knowledge of the tree, not of the roots. The knowledge of the roots is in this country. This is the greatness of our country, that we are the sustaining force of all the world. But in our ignorance, in our slavish nature, we are following the West blindfolded, without knowing where are they going. They are going in a ditch, absolute in a ditch of narka. There's a tremendous moral crisis in the social life in the West. You cannot go in New York safe in the evening time. Anybody can snatch your purse, anybody can hit you. You can't wear any ornaments. You cannot wear even an expensive watch in that country. You go to England, the same thing. Russia, if you go, it's full of fear. People have so much fear that out of fear, when they get out, I see they are much more abandoned than any other Westerner. So either it is the fear or is the abandonment under which these countries are prospering. As a result of that, they have become so much conditioned that they do not know how to get out of those conditionings of the abandonment. They have no swatantrata, they have no freedom, because freedom can only come from your self-realization. What they have is abandonment, and that has come because they believe that individual is important. The individuality must improve. One must develop the individuality. But this is not the way to develop an individual. If you see the life metaphor, the best metaphor is a tree. How a tree grows, that first you get the roots, and then you get the shoot. And then when it grows, it develops its whole manifestation first into leaves, then into flowers, and ultimately into fruits. So the maturity that has to come then gives you the individual identity. Not before that. Unless and until you are mature, you cannot be an individual. That's like a madman running amok. That's what is happening in the West now, that you feel that these people are really crazy, mad, or something has gone definitely wrong with their brains, that they cannot locate their moodings where they are. Now, the individuality, so-called, of the West is nothing but is like a cancer, is malignancy. Because if you're on your own and has no relationship established with the whole, then you can really damage the whole world. Nation also can become like that. Today we are sitting tight here, thinking any day a switch can be put by America or Russia, and we all can be finished for nothing at all. This is what we have achieved through our great advancement towards science. That we are sitting in a complete fear of that demon we have created out of your scientific researches. I do not condemn science at all, but I say we have lost the purpose of science. The purpose of science is for the availability of the divine. Supposing I didn't have these microphone, I could not have talked. So it is, everything has to work for divinity. If it cannot work for divinity, it will be devastatingly dangerous. And it is a very destructive use we are putting them into. Scientists must realize that once they forget about God and separate themselves from God, they are separating themselves from the whole, as in a malignant cell. When it becomes seceded, separated from the whole, it becomes so much ego-oriented that it starts overpowering other cells and creates a malignant situation in the society. This is exactly what is happening today in the Western society. Now in the East, where we are, in this country of ours, the Yoga Bhumi, we have lost our heritage. We have lost faith in our own tradition. I mean, we must understand that what these people have achieved. How are they? You won't find many Westerners who even have a steady look. They can't keep their eyes still. Their mouth is twitching, their nose is twitching, their eyes are twitching, they are looking this side, that side. They cannot have a steady look for any kind of an observation. Why is it that attention has become so much disturbed? Because there are so many things created to distract their attention. All the time it is attracted, their advertisement, their newspapers, all the stuff they are loaded with. The whole attention gets completely distracted and finished. Now, we are going towards them. We think they are affluent, they are very happy people, they are very well-to-do, and we should follow their path and jump in the same sea as they are. Now, you know about three countries which are the most affluent, is Sweden, Norway, and Switzerland. There's a competition going on among the young, because I moved there, I have lived there, I have talked to the young, and I know the essence of the whole problem is that they are so fed up with their affluence now, and they are so much disgusted that they have not been able to find even a trace of joy in the affluence that they had, that now they are all competing in committing suicide. If you ask an educated intellectual from any one of these countries, he will very seriously, in a very melancholy tone, he'll say that, by the way, which is the best way to commit suicide? In India, people ask me questions, Mother, how will I help my father? What about my job? How will I get my money? We are still progressing that side, you see. But in the West, people ask me a question, how to commit suicide? How to run away? Where to run away? Have you got a place in India where we can come and run away from this mad race? So now what should we do? If they have gone into the ditch, what should we do now? We should go back into our own heritage and find out what do we have there, what can we get out of it, and be natural and spontaneous about it. No use following their pattern. They have gone wrong. We know, thank God, we didn't do that fast. But now let us find out what are our problems and how we can cure them. Only one way is that you have to get your self-realization. There's no way out. This is what's said, that your attention should be controlled, nirodha, so that you get your realization. You should be dharmi, so that you get your realization. You should be in bhakti, so that you get your realization. You should do your yajna, because Vedas, Veda itself, Veda word means to know, to have the experience, prachiti. If you cannot get it, all this reading is just Shabdajal. It's just Shabdajal. So to go beyond it, what should we do? How are we to attain that subtler being within ourselves, which is the spirit, so that we enter into the roots? Now, luckily, I must say that it was not possible to achieve that. For many, many thousands years, people could not achieve it en masse. It could be done for 1 or 2 persons. Only few persons could get realization. But today the time has come. It has been indicated long time back in a book called Nadi Grantha, 14,000 years back. It has been stated that from 1970, such and such thing will start, and the people will get the awakening of their Kundalini and will get their realization, Sahaj. In the intellectuals today in our country, I have not met many who know the word even of Kundalini. This is our great intellect. By reading these Western books, where are we going to reach? Why not exploit the property that we have? Why not thrive on the heritage that we have, than to just intellectualize everything, analyze everything, and go mad like them? Now, what do we have in our heritage? It is said that within us lies, in this triangular bone, a power which is called as Kundalini, which is in 3.5 coin. It's an ancient science, I can tell you this. Of course, we have lost all our grip with everything. It has nothing to do with any Hindu religion, Christian religion, or any religion which is outside. It is the essence of all the religions, given by great drashtas and the great munis of those times. For a muni and a drashta, there is no religion. They have no religion. As they say in Hindi, awliya ki koi jaat nahi hoti. They were the real people who could see the Kundalini, this power within you, which could rise, and when it rises, it penetrates through the 6 subtle centers which controls your plexuses as well as your nadis, that is your autonomous nervous system. Now, the trouble is that if there is something like that, if there is some science like that within us, if there is the science of the divine, as a scientist, why not open your mind to that? Instead of keeping a barrier to it, why not open to it and see for yourself that there is this power resident? I went to Greece once, and there I was surprised that the word Atha in Sanskrit means the primordial. And Athens we went to, and there I went to see this goddess Athena. This Athena had a serpent in her hand, and the coils were 7 coils in her hand, showing absolutely clearly that she is representing the Adi Kundalini, the primordial mother. And when I went to see the Persepolis, which is the place where Athena resides, see this Kundalini, they said she is a virgin. And outside that temple of Athena, they said you can't go in because she is a virgin. Kundalini is a virgin, she is the Gauri. She has not yet met Shiva, so she is the Gauri. And that's how they said she is inside, you cannot go. I was amazed, I saw some cool vibrations coming outside the temple, and I looked at it, and it was there. Who? It was Sri Ganesh. Exactly, Sri Ganesh was sitting. And I asked the lady who was interpreting, I said, what do you see here? She said, it's a small baby elephant I can see, but this is the child god who protects the mother. I asked the curator of that place, how do you know these things? From where does this knowledge come to? They told us, your country is the one which gave us this knowledge. Thousands of years back, much before Alexander came in, they told us that there is one power, mother power, from her the 3 powers coming, and these 3 powers manifest. But what has happened to all that? Where are they? Where are they lost? I said, they have all become now anglicized, westernized. That's all I could answer. Because all the intellectuals of this country have taken to a kind of a Shabda Jalam, a kind of a funny attitude towards religion, just to impress others, write books on Kundalini, write books about, say, Dharma, read books, I have read this, I have read that, and that's why sometimes I feel when Kabira has said very clearly, Padi Padi Pandita Murakha Bhaye. First I didn't understand when I was a child, what does he mean by this? How can they become Murakhas? In the book it will be written, Ikahe re banakho janajai, sada nivasi, sada alepa, tohe sanga samai. But they will go on reading that. They'll go on repeating 1,001 times. They'll be saying it again and again. And then, kahe nanak bina apa chinhe mitena brahmaki kai. You have to know yourself, know thyself. Everybody has said that. What about that? They'll go on reading Bible, know thyself, know thyself. Everybody is reading it. But who's going to do the job of knowing yourself? To know yourself is also spontaneous. As you have grown in your evolution, from the stage of amoeba to the stage to go further has to be done by the same force which has made you a human being. We take everything for granted. Why shouldn't we ask ourselves why God has made a human being? Why not the scientists ask a simple question to themselves, why are we human beings? They don't ask questions which they can't answer. They are honest people. But there must be a reason. Supposing I am making this instrument, I must have made it with a purpose. What is the purpose? I have to first connect it to the mains, otherwise you won't know the purpose. You are to be connected to the mains, but once you are connected to the mains, you will be surprised. You are dynamic. You are tremendous. Because God has made you like that. But have faith in yourself. Know that you are that. Like great Jnaneshwara has described, Pasaidan is a description of the today's Sahaja. He said, you will achieve Brahma Ekatva. You will become the Brahma. You will feel the Brahma. You will feel the Chaitanya. You will feel the cool breeze of the Holy Ghost in your hands. That's what he said clearly. But he goes further. He says, Sala Kalpatarun se Arava. You become the Kalpataru. Arava means the forest. You become the forests of Kalpatarus you will be. Bolate Piyushan se Arnava. Meaning the talking seas, oceans of Amruta. That's what you are. You are going to become that, is said by Jnaneshwara. And I don't think he told us lies. That day has come today for you to become that. Kundalini awakening is the simplest thing. Has to be done by the simplest person. If you are an extraordinary person, rather difficult. The ordinary has the extraordinary absolutely intact. The extraordinary person has wasted all his extraordinary into ordinary. While the ordinary villager has got the whole of that extraordinary within himself. No hangs up, no barriers, matter of fact, balanced. Such a person is the one who gets realization. But I must say it is doing wonders. I've seen thousands of people in the villages getting realization. Once they get realization, of course, health gets cured, you get all right automatically, because it is the sutra, is the thread of Kundalini that passes through all these centers and awakens them, which get vitalized. And once it pierces through this Brahmarandra, is the fontanelle bone area, then you become one with that divine force which is all pervading. We know this power exists. We see these flowers. How did they come? We cannot create one. We cannot create fruits out of flowers. How they are here? We see them here, we take them for granted, as we have taken ourselves for granted. Now this happens through some power, which is a living power of the living God. And this living power is the Brahma, which you have to touch, you have to feel. And that is the Vida. That's how you have to know. That's a prachiti. That's you have to experience. You cannot talk about it. It's another world you enter into and you are amazed that Brahma is the only truth. The rest is all nonsense. Everything works out according to desire of God. But human beings have been given freedom. If they want, they can go to hell. If they want, they can go to heaven, into the kingdom of God. The whole arrangement is so beautifully made within yourself. Now the mistake, I think, some of the Western philosophers did, not Socrates, of course, but later on, Jung, who got his realization, who opposed Freud completely, he made a big mistake in describing a human being. He said that at the lowest point is the unconscious, which never manifests, then the unconscious that manifests. On top of that, he said, is the subconscious. And on top of it is the conscious mind, on top of it is the ego. Now, this is the biggest mistake to say that you have to pass through the subconscious to go to the unconscious is absurd. Because God is the greatest organizer. Now see, you are sitting here. You can see there are passages made for you. You don't sit in the passages. People don't have to climb your heads to come down here. It cannot be layers like this. It is, you see, it's a parallel. There's a beautiful Sushumna path kept ready for the ascent of Kundalini. There's nothing needed to be done except that when I said you have exhausted your extraordinary, so it is to be a little bit nourished. And then it works out. It has to work out. It has to work out. The time has come. Because divine itself is anxious. The Ritampara Pragya itself is anxious that today, at this time, when the whole thing has to reach its epitome, the creation can be destroyed because you are the ones who represent the fullness of this creation. You are on the stage. The whole stage is created for human beings. I wonder how many of us realize what God has gone through to create us. It's easy to discard God. It's easy to say there is no God. It's very simple. But that doesn't help anyone, does it? Why not see if there is one? Why not have a look at it and find out if there is? Now, there is no amount of talking, no amount of discussion, no amount of holding big conferences and big organizations you can achieve it. It is within yourself, this power is residing, is your own. It has to just rise and give you self-realization. But once you become realized, what Einstein has said, the macrocosm and the microcosm, because Einstein himself was a realized one. You are the microcosm, which is in the pattern of the macrocosm, the Virat, and you become the conscious part of that when you get realization. When you are conscious, who is the other? Like this finger of mine is paining, I just rub it, it's mine. The whole thing is mine, is part and parcel of me. So you become, again I say you become, it is not shouting or screaming that we are all brothers and sisters, but it really becomes. It becomes within you. On your central nervous system, you can feel the another personality and you can feel yourself. Now the only difference I would say, which is little intriguing for people, that they think, oh, it was so difficult, people had to go to Himalaya, stand on their heads, do all kinds of things, and gurus used to make them all kinds of penances. You have done everything now in previous lives, so forget it. Maybe something with me also. This could be so. Somebody who knows how to do the job. And it can work out, so why not do it? Why not have it? This kind of a negative attitude will not help you. You have to be positive. You have to think that you are going to get it, you are the one, and you will have it and you will enjoy it. This attitude helps a lot. But if you have a negative attitude, the Kundalini refuses to rise. I can't help it. You may argue, you may fight, you may even try to beat me. I can't help it. You cannot force me to do it. It has to work out spontaneously. It's a very delicate work, but a very forceful work. Like a seed has to sprout, you cannot force it down, you cannot read mantras over it, you cannot do anything. It has to go to the Mother Earth, and the Mother Earth has got the capacity to sprout it. In the same way, it works out. So to come to Sahaja Yoga, first of all, you must have a mind which is receptive like a scientist and humble like a bhakta. You must have only bhakti in yourself. Self-respect and self-confidence should be there. One should not criticize oneself that I am such a sinner and all that. That is not allowed in Sahaja Yoga. You have to feel that you are the temple and the light has to come within you. It is a simple thing. But once it happens to you, you can do it to others and you can transform others also. Now, as we are going to have altogether 4 lectures more, I'll be gradually telling you about the Kundalini, its chakras, and all the other things in the subsequent lectures. But today, for the introduction, I think that should be all right. Now, I would like to have some questions from you, but not some questions that disturbs everyone. This is a meditative thing, and for meditative thing, everybody has a right to have a quiet place, and nobody should try to overpower others or try to say things which will disturb their right to get their realization. So I would request you to be rather gentle about it, and you can ask me any questions. If you want, you can write and let me know. I would like to answer those questions if there are any sensible questions. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
So that was a talk from 12th of March 1984 in Delhi. So if you wish to, there are some further questions Darshanadri answers. It's an interesting talk, so in your own time you could listen to those. So we'll stay in silence for a couple of minutes and then we'll offer the 3 Mahamantras collectively. Mataji, Mataji, your face shines like 1,000 suns. You have given us more than we could ask for. Bliss and peace and harmony. Mataji, Mataji, your face shines like 1,000 suns. You have given us more than we could ask for. Bliss and peace and harmony. Mataji, Mataji, it shines like 1,000 suns. You have given us more than we could ask for. Bliss and peace and harmony. Mataji, 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 Mataji. See the Mahamantras together. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Mahalakshmi Mahasaraswati Mahakali Triguణாத்மிகா Kundalini Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalaki Sakshat Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha. Om Tvameva Sakshat Shri Kalaki Sakshat Shri Sahasrara Swamini Mokshadaini Mataji Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha. Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha. Shri Nirmala Devye Namo Namaha. Bolo Shri Adishakti Mataji Shri Nirmala Devi ki jai, ki jai, ki jai. So we can all bow down and raise our kundalinis and put ourselves in bandhan. So thank you everyone for joining us. And we are going to play some music for those of us who want to continue to meditate for a bit longer. And for everyone who's leaving now, have a lovely weekend ahead. Jai Shri Mataji. Jai Shri Mataji.
Thank you.